Suffering from World Cup withdrawal? Well, Vulcan men's and women's soccer has you covered. Come up and watch the region's best soccer teams do battle in a combined 18 home games at the beautiful Shippensburg Soccer Complex. In addition, 3 men's and 3 women's home games will be featured live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Follow Cal Vulcans for up-to-date information on all things Vulcan soccer. Season of Vulcan football is set to begin September 9th versus Kutztown, September 16th versus Shepherd, September 23rd at Edinburgh, September 30th versus Clarion, October 7th at IUP, homecoming October 14th versus Seton Hill, October 21st at Slippery Rock, October 28th versus Mercyhurst, November 4th at Gannon, November 11th at East Stroudsburg. All games available on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Suffering from World Cup withdrawal? Well, Vulcan men's and women's soccer has you covered. Come up and watch the region's best soccer teams do battle in a combined 18 home games at the beautiful Shippensburg Soccer Complex. In addition, 3 men's and 3 women's home games will be featured live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Follow Cal Vulcans for up-to-date information on all things Vulcan soccer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Shippensburg Soccer Complex for today's non-conference matchup between the Shippensburg Raiders and your California Vulcans. My name is John Sabe. Alongside me here today is Owen Leeson. Owen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Really excited about this one. You have anything you want to say before the game starts?
I am as well. I'm excited. The Raiders traveled 3 hours west here today across I-76 and I-70 to try and grab their first win in their last 3 games. The 3-2 Raiders have gotten 1 point out of their last 3 games since their last win versus the number 16 ranked Westchester Golden Rams on September 20th. And the Raiders made 2 changes today from their 1-1 draw against East Stroudsburg on Saturday.
Yeah, I think this game is going to have, based on the statistics, I think this game is going to have at least like 1 or 2 goals. Both teams are fairly, I don't want to say fragile on the back, but they don't have the strongest defenses by any means. And both teams tend to score at least like 1.5 goals to 2 goals a game. So I think I wouldn't bet my horse on them being a clear winner today, but I would bet my horse on them on there being plenty of goals.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. And the Vulcans, they're winners of 2 out of their last 3, and they make 1 change here today from their 5-0 defeat to the number 19 ranked Gannon on Saturday. So both teams looking for a win here. It's been a tough stretch of games, the last couple of games, but looking to bounce back in a good way. And I mean, what better ways, or like what a better situation when both teams are not going to say they don't have anything to play for, but not at the expectations, looking to just pick up some form.
Yeah, I think especially Shippensburg has come in with, like you said, they haven't won a game in the last 3 games. They got to be hungry heading into this. They're heading into the sun. The sun glares in their eye, and I just love watching a hungry team play soccer, and I think we're going to watch 2 extremely hungry boys fight it out this evening. It's beautiful weather, by the way.
Oh, I agree. The starting lineups for both teams, Glenn Lassinette for the Raiders, and then you have Brant Weldon, Warwick, and Bamfo at the back for the Raiders, as the Vulcans are going to get us underway with going from right to left in the all-whites, and Shippensburg and the blue and red going from left to right to start the game. And like we talked about, there's only 2 changes. It's Obasa in the game for the Vulcans for the Raiders, as there's a quick foul over the middle. Obasa into the game for Shippensburg. That's 1 change, and then Glenn Lass, a last-minute change in net for the Raiders for today's game at least.
Yeah, I think Obasa didn't play last game, but if you look at his bio on their roster, right, they describe him as the fulcrum of their midfield. And I think if you want to watch 2 players in particular on Shippen's team, as that's a hard fall there by a Shippensburg defender, you have number 10 in the middle, Dalton Shiflett, who I watched him pregame. His ball control is immaculate. Absolute blast to watch. And then Obasa up here, number 4, who's playing right behind these 2 strikers for Shippensburg. I think he's another great player to watch for Shippensburg.
Yeah, and then for the Vulcans, only 1 change. That's number 17, Josh Pinero, into the game in the defense, playing left back here today for the Vulcans.
Yeah, I feel as if you often see that. You see outside backs a lot switch up. You often, as a coach, don't switch up your center backs. You want to keep that pairing strong, consistent throughout the entire season. But you do often play around with your outside backs.
And it's the Vulcans with the possession of the ball here, trying to go long, trying to find Billis up front. Nice defensive header won by the Raiders, and the Raiders spring an attack of their own. Bamfo trying to make his way through, but great tackle and great coverage by Morelli.
Morelli and Algard, both of them, but especially Morelli with his experience. I believe he's a junior this year. He makes some extremely timely tackles in the back. He is a coach's dream in the back for sure.
Yeah, and he's hard to get around. 6'4", big, tall, strong, very fast as well. So he's got all of the physical attributes that you could have want out of a defender, as well as the game sense as well.
And then on the other side of the pitch for Vulcans, from defense all the way to offense, you have Andre Billos, I should say, number 21, who's only a freshman, but is their top scorer with, I believe, 3 goals and 2 assists. This game, he seems to be playing more of a center forward role, and when in the past he plays more of a winger role. Wow, this is a ping pong match right now, back and forth. No team has a clear control or understanding of how they want to play it out here.
Yeah, both teams, the shaky bit of possession trying to start the game. And that's Odgaard trying to get that crossfield switch towards Harrington on this left-hand side, but that one a little bit too straight and diagonal towards the keeper. And like I said, the last-minute change originally was supposed to be Cody Willoughby in net for the Raiders, the junior. is out, and like we were sitting here in the booth getting ready to start, and I heard in the booth next to us a call up on the radio saying that number 0 Ryan Glenlas, the sophomore out of Lancaster, is going to be in net for the Raiders.
Yeah, from what we gathered from his bio quite quickly, our research was quite brief for him, was that he started 11 of their games last year, so he's not extremely inexperienced in the back. He's definitely been in that position before. Last year he registered a 70% save percentage, so he's definitely not a bad goalkeeper. So I'm excited to see how he plays.
Yeah, not that inexperience, it's more that maybe lack of readiness or preparedness as you would like to expect. It's like getting the call on the day of, and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, you're playing. So
yeah, I wonder if that's how it is with David Raya and who's the Ramsdale at Arsenal right now. I bet it is a day by day thing right now. They've yet to figure out their starter, though it does seem like Raya has cemented his spot a little bit more.
Yeah, it's something like that, or like when a backup quarterback comes into the game where they're not really prepared to come in and play, but somehow end up in there. And a bit of a mistimed touch there by Davies, playing that right back here today. Thought that he just let that one go out of bounds, just took a brief touch, and allowed the Vulcans to get their way up the field. And Billis now trying to cover the ball into the corner. Billis looking to get around a defender. Foul. Gets brought down.
Well done, Billis.
Great bit of hold-up play there for the Vulcans, who have a free kick in a very good position to send one into the box. It's
like how would I describe this free kick? It's just like a short corner. It's not really much of a shooting angle. I mean, you could dream. You could be a dreamer for sure. But this one, you just do a nice in-swinger into the box. You aim for the head of Paul Morale, who's got a good 2 inches at least over anyone else on the field. Put it right in the number 4, let him eat. Ooh, they don't put Odegaard in there, but I think Odegaard does take their free kick sometimes. For such a big body, I wish he was in there.
Yeah, but Harrington and Odegaard standing over top of this free kick.
It's definitely going to be Odegaard.
Harrington with the left, Odegaard with the right, so one-man wall. Like you said, Odegaard's taken, and Odegaard going for a high dribble onto the back post. The Vulcans get a header onto the ball, floating around forever, and Morelli takes the left-footed shot as he's swiveling around, and that one just goes a little bit too high, so the Vulcans get the first chance of the game, and they had themselves a good one.
They did. It was a little scrappy. I mean, that ball may have went out of bounds. From my angle, I'd say it's not. I might be biased, but either way, the ball in was a little high, but in the end they cleaned it up. It was good hustle at the back post, and Morelli had a fairly good shot at goal there. It was a good free kick.
Shippensburg, a team not unfamiliar with giving up a ton of shots. They give up about 13 shots a game almost. So that one not dealt with. The header in the box not dealt with very comfortably. The ball floating around for a little bit. Morelli, maybe if it was a striker instead, you would have maybe favored your chances a bit more. But the Vulcans now after this seem to have a bit more life, having great possession so far. And Harrington trying to get it forward towards Billis.
Sims.
And Sims covering in behind him forces a Vulcan throw now. And so far the Vulcans starting off. So like Sims, great touch, trying to get around the defender, but great coverage on the back end by Davies. And a nice job there by Weldon to prevent the corner. Kicks it out for a Vulcan throw.
Yeah, right now I think we're just simply outrunning them. I mean, all these 50-50 balls, I call them more.
Harrington with the ball across the box, and the Vulcans had a chance right there. It teed up perfectly for Wojtovich, who just could not get it past Glenlas. The time seemed to stood still there for a second. The ball was there. No one was touching, and Wojtovich maybe I think was not ready for it. I don't think anyone could have expected the ball to get across the box like that.
What a great ball. Was that by Billis? Or who was that by? Was that Harrington?
I think it was Harrington.
I think it might have been Harrington. Beautiful ball. Beautiful ball. I think Harrington started as an outside back last game, so instead of playing as a left outside back, they pushed him up to a more of a winger position here, giving him more freedom on this flank. Now he's taking him to the dance.
And the Vulcans attacking once again. Great ball in, and that's
who's number 6?
And that's Percival for the Vulcans, getting in and around the box. Great link-up play between him and Harrington. Forces the ball out of bounds from Shippensburg. So Vulcan corner, 37:50 left to go here in the first half. The Vulcans off to a flying start on the offensive end. Just haven't been able to put the bow on the attacking touches so far. And it looks like it's going to be Nabinski standing over the corner here for California.
Yeah. Both, I believe it was Rudker and Percival have cut their hair from their original team photos, and it makes it kind of confusing. But I dig a good solid buzz cut.
Nabinski low driven cross in, cleared it away at the near post. The Vulcans trying to win it back. It's Wojtovich. and it's Harrington linking up, and the Vulcans able to retain possession. Great play from California so far. Morelli getting it forward, and the Vulcans just recycling, just trying to get the ball into the box. Billis on trying to get on the end of that cross, but great keeping by Glenlass, comes out and makes the catch.
Yeah, Jacob Gritz plays as like number 25 here in the middle for Cal-U. He plays, everything flows through him in this formation, right? You have two fairly deep-lying center mids, and then in the middle you have two wingers, and then right in the middle of that you have Gritz. So everything flows through him, as you can see him here on the ball again. Ooh, great tackle.
Harrington and the Vulcans trying to fight through the tackles, and it ends up Gritz coming off of him out of bounds. Shippensburg trying to relieve a little bit of that pressure that they've seen so far. It's been all California. The throw in from Davies comes off of a Vulcan defender intended for Bamfo. Just slowly, the Raiders, just slowly inching their way up the field. And
take a breather. They've been under a lot of pressure so far, so they should relish this opportunity down here. Just take your time.
Yeah, but the Vulcans not wanting to give them much time at all, as a labored ball into the box, cleared away nicely by the Vulcans, and Sims, the furthest man forward for California, doesn't win the header, and the ball floating up in the air. Third header, finally one from the Vulcans, but after a foul in the back.
Great jump by Percival there. Great jump.
Yeah, it looked like a gazelle leaping through the air.
Yes, indeed. He could have counted the seconds he was in flight there. It was beautiful.
What does Ray Parler say? It looked like a salmon jumping out of a freshwater stream.
That's great. I don't even know who Ray Parler is, but I dig it. Who's Ray Parler?
He does a lot of the English commentaries for like Real Madrid, Barcelona.
Really?
I've seen it.
Okay.
If you listen to him, you'll recognize the voice.
Okay.
But he says some ludicrous things.
He does. You see, there's a guy with an insanely thick Scottish accent that is like, he said one time his touch was as wet as a great greyhound's nose, and I was like, oh, that's a great one.
I think that might be the same one.
Yeah, he says some wild stuff after goals, and I'm like, what are you thinking right now? But I dig it.
Floated ball into the box, headed away by the Vulcans, out for a corner, so Shippensburg have their chance to maybe make some magic happen here in this game. 34:56 left to go here in the first half of play. I believe it's Bramp over the ball here for Shippensburg.
Let's see what they do.
Brandt's corner towards the near post, and that one curled a bit too much. Just trying to catch him out. You never
know. You got to dream every once in a while, you know.
It doesn't hurt to attempt it. And Visco watches that one hit off the side netting, and Visco going to get us underway very quickly here.
He better just not do that again, or else then he'll get some stick from his teammates.
A floated ball into the channel for Billis to chase down, and Billis gonna get there first, but not before fouling the Shippensburg defender on the back end. So the Vulcans, so far in this game, not afraid to show off the physicality a little bit. No. They're running all over the place. They're not afraid to impose their bodies
as they
on
should.
The back of Shippensburg.
If you have the advantage, you may as well use it. Know your strengths and play within them. It never hurts to play to your strengths.
Great ball towards the far side, but great covering by Udgard, able to get that one away. And Wojtovich not quitting up on the play, able to run forward and able to keep this play alive. And California swarming around the Raiders, but the Raiders able to get rid of it, able to get out quickly. Nice ball down the line for the Raiders to try to catch up to.
Unnecessary. Clear card.
Vitero trying to run down the ball and catches hold of Morelli out of bounds. And
there you go.
Quick yellow card given out, not even 7 full minutes into the game. And Victor Vitero, the junior out of Reading, the playing on the left wing today, or that left striker type role, going to pick up the game's first card.
Respectfully. Even that would have been a hard ball for Usain Bolt or even Marcus Rashford to track down.
I think it was not. It definitely wasn't intentional, but it was a bit clumsy.
Clumsy is the
way
word
to put it for Vitero, who
maybe ambitious as well. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I like the effort being put in to try to chase it down, but like you said, at that point, there's no way you're getting to it. No. Great coverage by Morelli just to get in between him and the ball and shield it out, but
he forced him to get a yellow card.
And it takes the front end of it.
Yep.
The Vulcans trying to march forward. The ball landing at the feet of Gretz.
Great hunger here. Great hunger.
Work out of it. Getting over to Harrington. Harrington with the cross fake. Able to keep a hold of the ball. And Harrington try to get into the box, but runs into a second brick wall. And there's 2 players down for either team, and Harrington going to take the worst end of it for California. And for the Raiders, I'm not quite sure which number it is, but nonetheless, it's been a very physical affair so far in this game.
This is fascinating here to watch just the Shippensburg's players take this break, and they recognize that they're on the back heel this game, right? The last 12 minutes have, for the most part, out of all the chances, have been California favored. Correct. But now with this minute-long break while the athletic trainers come out and look at the casualties, right? You can see Obasa run up to number 27, Bamfo, talk to him, be like, hey, we want you to make these runs. And while that's going on, Shiflett, who's more of their deep-lying, playmaking defensive mid, is talking to Obasa, talking about where he wants him to go. They're taking this opportunity, much like a timeout in basketball, to collect themselves, realize what they're doing wrong. And I'm very interested to see if they're, especially within the midfield, able to gain more control after these injuries are cleaned up.
Yeah, Harrington, the one down for the Vulcans, and the fellow number 7 on the other team for Shippensburg, Spencer Cyberling, the one down for the Raiders, who's now back up on his feet and able to be moved around. But Harrington needing quite a bit of attention so far here from the trainer, able to get back onto his feet, and hopefully everything's okay with both of them and they're able to stay in this game, because so far both of them have made a very good impact, especially Harrington for the Vulcans.
Yeah, Harrington's been, at least in the last 10, well, I guess right now the clock stopped, but the last 10 minutes has been a terror on this left side against the Shippensburg or the Raiders defense. Sending in probably the best ball of the day into the box for, was it Sims and was Billis in there, or was it?
It was Wojtovich was the one that got on the end of it, but he couldn't put it in.
There you go. Yeah, that was Harrington has played the best ball so far today, so hopefully he can return.
I think the best part of this is Coach Savage for the Vulcans. Play onto the field, trying to talk to Odegaard, who it's a bit of a difference in defensive shape for the Vulcans here today, because Harrington usually playing at this left back position, and it looks more kind of like a back three for the Vulcans.
Got some big boys in there.
Where Morelli playing that central center back, and then you have Odegaard playing on the right center back, and then you have Pinero playing on the left, and the Vulcans do end up making a change into the game. Number 18, Derek Reyes, coming into the game.
The older brother.
The older brother coming in place of Harrington on this left-hand side, playing kind of, I wouldn't say left back or left mid, kind of just left side.
Just left side. He's just floating.
Entire left side, just getting up and down the field. That's what Harrington was doing the entire time.
So when you play Football Manager, you can either put him as a left wing back, which is a good bit more offensive than a left back, but he could also be a defensive left-sided midfielder, which I think is maybe a better way to describe how they're playing with him, that position specifically. And in large part because of Pinero's size in the back, it creates so much freedom on this left side for the attackers for California.
Now just waiting for the official whistle. Yes. Making sure everything's squared away. It's going to be Warwick over top of this free kick for Shippensburg. And I think the referee talking to both coaches, just trying to inform everyone of what just transpired. Yes. I mean, the clock still stopped with 33:02 left to go, and I think it's going to end up being a drop ball.
And Shippensburg had clear possession of that ball, so it should be Shippensburg ball here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It looks like the referee trying to talk with Sims. I thought maybe Sims was just going to pass it back, but it looks like Warwick is going to pass it back to his keeper. And the Raiders are going to get us underway once again. And the Vulcans starting off with the high press. Reds and Sims all over Glenn Lass, who's able to clear that one away. It's going to fall favorably for the Raiders here. Try to get that ball forward. Nice pass forward, trying to find Vitero on that left side, able to play it back from the cutout, set up beautifully for Shiflett, trying to get around, but Morelli in the right place at the right time, shot through, but it's going to be a perfect pass to Shiflett trying to get around Visco, and Visco makes himself big and able to cut out Shiflett's attempt.
Bravo. All you can do is clap from the box up here. What a great one-on-one moment. I mean, I'm sure Shiflett was very confused when the ball ended up at his feet there, but he did quite well to gather it, make it a good opportunity, but A.J. Visco didn't even give him the time of the day to dream. Bravo, Visco.
Yeah, sometimes it's not about asking why, it's just trying to finish off the play, and that time Visco was not letting it happen.
No.
Able to cut off Shiflett, and like you said, we saw him in warm-ups. He was doing some great things on the ball, so it's hard to get the ball off him once he has it. But Great job from Bisco, making himself big, getting out there and making a stop.
And he's filling in for our typical starter, Peyton Smith today, who we are not aware, but we are going to assume is injured because he has not suited up in his jersey. But beyond all that, Peyton Smith is not playing, and AJ Visco has played, at least with that one save. And also against, even though they lost 5-0 to Gannon, he played well in that game as well.
Yeah, it happens a lot, and like you said, sometimes it's just the rotation of the keepers as well, and we're not quite sure, so don't want to make any sort of speculation. But Visco doing great things in place of Smith, and now Wojtovich trying to make his mark on the game. Billis, doing a great job at tracking that ball down. Wojtovich left that one a little bit too strong, but Billis able to get over, win the team, and win the Vulcans a corner here.
Billis has played phenomenally against Gannon. Right, he played more as a left winger. Right, he wasn't allowed to just be the man that hunts, the predator out there in terms of just hunting down and pressing the back line of the opposition. Right, but this game, Coach Sabic has just allowed him to press. Right, just allowed him to run, and sometimes that's all you want as a forward is just freedom.
Nabinski standing over the corner. This one towards the near post, and Billis able to get a head on it, and it falls down into the box, and it's still not cleared away quite yet, but Shippensburg finally able to just send that one into orbit. Great touch by Odegaard, able to get that one down, sends that one high into the air. And a bit of an awkward touch, but the Vulcans still keep it in play, and Shippensburg finally have to clear that one out of bounds. So after all that, a throw on the near end, and the Vulcans take it quickly. And Wojtovich trying to get the ball back on the 1-2, but that pass by
Percival?
By Percival just a little bit too strong.
Yeah. It definitely irritated Wojtovich a little bit there, but that's fine. It happens. It's Division II soccer. And let's not lose hair over this. It's just a simple pass. It happens. And the Vulcans still playing it out from the back. Pinero able to clip that one off of Cyberling and out of play. That was a great little nifty turn there by Pinero. If I was Pinero in that moment, I would have touched the ball and slowed it down. But Pinero realized that he had space. Someone told him to turn, good communication, and he was able to turn and avoid the pressure. Oh, that was wild. I'm here for it, though.
Bilos going for the exotic touches. That one didn't quite find its mark, and the Vulcans doing a great job of just playing out of this press, and Raya's able to make his way through, and him and Gretsch is not on the same page. Great turn by Obasa, trying to go forward, and that pass just gone astray. And another decent attacking opportunity, that time from the Raiders, results in nothing. And so far, both teams have had their fair share of chances. 28-58 left to go here in the first half, and
it's just a back and forth battle right now. You love to see it. Who's gonna crack first?
Ton of pressure by this Vulcans front line, just on the press, and
Ooh, there it is, and you've got your reward, Oh,
Gretz able to win it back, but
we got possession.
The pass towards Percival just off the mark, and Shippensburg able to clear it all the way down the field towards Visco, and Morelli and the Vulcans are able to get us back underway once again. Pinero now. Crossfield ball, trying to find Wojtovich. A man down on the far side, nothing called, so Wojtovich has a ton of free real estate on that right side. Gets it in towards Billis. Billis with the right-footed shot, and that one nearly ends up out of the stadium. Just bobbled a little bit as he took it. Tough angle to score from, but if anyone's going to score for it on the Vulcans, it is Billis.
It is going to be Billis, man. That freshman, he's a hungry striker up front.
I was going to say, they're feeding them something different, man. I don't know what they're doing these days. The 6'3" man out of Troy, Michigan.
That's like an 18-year-old, probably 18, 19. Man, that's crazy. I peaked at a 5'11". I'm pretty happy with it, but
that's what I'm saying. I did too, and he's from Troy, Michigan. He looks like he's from Troy. Like he came out of Troy in the Greek Empire, fighting the Trojan Wars. He's just a large unit of a man who not only has like the physical size of the body, but also just extremely fast and hardworking as well. So everything you kind of want out of that striker.
And emphasis on the hardworking in this game. I mean, it's one thing to be big and strong, but that means nothing
if you don't apply it.
Good pressure by Sims and forces a corner. Well done. Yeah,
Sims' pressure forces Warwick to head it out of bounds, trying to get it back to Glenlass, and Glenlass just couldn't quite come out in time, and the Vulcans earned themselves another corner, something that Shippensburg have not been able to deal with. I wouldn't say successfully, because they've been able to get him out, but not in the most convincing fashion, and it's going to be Nabinski on that in swinger with the right foot, coming over once again to take it.
It's always peculiar to me. They don't put odd guard in there. You think you put all your big boys up front, all your tanks, but you got to have a good man in the back.
Wojtovich showing maybe short. That ball floated towards the back post
Good
again.
goalkeeping.
Great glove by Grenlas. Able to just punch that one out, slaps it out of play, and the Vulcans get to do it all over again, but from the other side.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. I was just so focused on that was for a goalkeeper that, from what we could tell, hasn't started in a good bit. That was some aggressive goal. Was not very tentative. He knew what he needed to do and he did it. Yeah. Great goalkeeper.
Nabinski getting his work out and running back and forth from the corner flags. Nabinski on the outswinger with the right foot, headed straight in, and that's a good header by Pinero. Just headed it down, but not on target, and no Vulcans in and around the area to follow it up. So another chance for California goes amiss.
Man, Pinero, the addition of Pinero this game cannot be understated. But by putting 3 large bodies in the back, that really allows especially the left flank to push up, which allows either Billis or Sims to push more center, right? Which makes our pressing 10 times more effective and efficient. So Pinero has played fabulous and great header there by him.
Yeah, you have 3 center backs on the team in this game, and Pinero, Morelli, and Odegaard, and they stand at 6'2", 6'2", and 6'4", so you have some absolute giant lads in the back. And Gretz with a great through ball towards Wojtovich, but good keeping by Glenlass, able to just come out, secure it for the boys in the back, and keeps the Vulcans off the score table.
You got to keep knocking. I mean, we're on the welcome mat. You can feel it. Yeah. Just keep going, boys. Keep going. It'll come.
And like you said, both teams no strangers to giving up goals. So wouldn't be surprised to see at least a couple in this match, and the Vulcans under some pressure. But great turn by Pinero to work out of danger, and it's Reyes now who's trying to get it forward, able to find Gretz. Gretz has a couple members, but that pass just went into the Shippensburg player, and Percival trying to win it back, and Gretz with a great tackle. Gretz playing it forward towards Billis, but that pass just a little bit too strong.
The right idea, though. You're right. It was a great pass, but it was the right idea. He saw it. He saw the opening. Just roll it on the ground next time, and Billis is in. That was great.
I always heard a lot on Sports Center was that the operation was a success, but the patient died. It was the right idea. I mean, you had everything in place. It was the pass that you should have made, but the execution on it just wasn't quite what it needed to be.
That was a great metaphor, John. That was a successful operation. Like, they put the tube in the right place, but the patient still died.
Yeah,
that's brutal. I like that.
Sometimes it happens, you know.
Sometimes it happens, you know. On your Tuesday random surgery, you just accidentally kill the patient. Big ups.
What are you gonna do? Raya's now trying to float it into the box. Great defending by the Raiders, who seem to be just holding on here as Percival switching play. And Nabinski with an awkward touch, but the Vulcans still make it work as Odegaard sends it high in the air for himself and ends up winning it, but it falls straight to the feet of Obasa. And now the Raiders still under a ton of pressure, just trying to get it out. Shiflett gets it over to the left flank, and they just send it forward for Bamfo to try to chase down. And Bamfo putting on the pressure on Odegaard in the defense, kicks it out of bounds for a Vulcan throw deep in their own half.
All right, can we see if Shippensburg can return the favor and apply press to us? Let's see how press resilient we are.
Percival trying to get the flick on with the header, gets it off of the Shippensburg defender, but nothing more, but gives the Vulcans some room, able to just get themselves out from being pinned in their own half. And Wojtovich with maybe a potential foul throw. I saw a leg go up there.
I wasn't even looking at that. I was just looking where he was going to throw it.
As someone who took their pride on long throw-ins when I played, that's all I learned was how to make sure I kept my foot on the ground.
There you go. I remember back when I was like at 8, 9 at AYSO, they drilled that home. The refs used to really care about that.
Yeah, they used to make you keep your foot, just drag it around each other, making sure it's on the ground. Like I said, I used to take long throw-ins, treated them like corners. You'd send everyone up there, floated deep in the box, and so I always had to make sure that I kept my foot down because they'd call it on me. They would call it on me if I wasn't keeping my foot down.
Especially if you're making it into a corner, I can see why. Because you're making it into, based on just on your pure arm strength there by John, you're making that into a good goal scoring opportunity.
Hey, if that was one thing that I was good for.
No, I'm sure you were good for a lot of things, though. Not going to lie. I was always more in the middle of the pitch, so I applaud those who can throw it in correctly, and especially far with some distance.
Substitution going to be made by Shippensburg. Number 19 for the Raiders, Cam Henry, going to come into the game. Out of the game, Vitero, the recipient of that yellow card about 7 minutes into the game, going to get swapped up front. So Henry in for Vitero after about a 20-minute shift or so. And referee blows the whistle. Waiting to see what it's on. Looks like Shippensburg sending their players forward, so an infraction in the middle of the field against the Vulcans. And the Raiders able to just give themselves some more room and drop ball and get us back underway. I think it hit the referee.
I see. I was a little confused there. Drop ball.
Floated ball into the box hard, trying to find Bamfo. And Visco able to recover and trying to throw it out quickly. Reyes takes the touch, able to get past one man outside of the foot, trying to get it down the line towards Sims, but great defending by the Raiders. Percival comes inside. Gretz able to make a tackle and able to make a second one on Shiflett, but Shiflett and now Kramer for the Raiders able to keep possession.
You're going to let that out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was, I think that ball in was like the, second or third time Shippensburg has had the ball in our box? I'd say you can count it on one hand the amount of times they've had the ball in our box this half so far. It's only been 25 minutes. Long game to go still, but all the same. Calu's done a great job of just maintaining pressure on this half of the field.
Yeah, still plenty of work to do as both teams still tied at 0 here, just looking for that breakthrough. 20 minutes, 14 seconds left to go here in the first half of play.
Such a beautiful fall evening here. It just is. You can feel the breeze rolling into the window here, into the broadcast box. You see the colors of the leaves changing over the ridge just a little bit. What is that, west of us? No, east of us. It's a beautiful campus here.
I think it's a little bit too warm for my liking.
No way.
I like it warm, but I think this time I like it maybe like a low 60s, high 50s, like get right into that fall spirit. Summer's still lingering around here in California. And on the afternoon here at the Phillipsburg Soccer Complex, as a foul by the Raiders, the Vulcans tried to take the free kick quickly, and the Raiders able to deal with it and able to send it up the field. Panero
good ball.
Able to deal with it. And Reyes took a way heavy touch and
it worked out.
Still going to end up back at his feet, and Panero has a chance to just clear it up the field. Only as far as the Raiders, but it's going to fall to Nabinski, who's under some pressure. No one called it out in time as Bamfo was right behind him. Comes off of Bamfo out of play, so the Vulcans able to get away with it.
Yeah, California's got to be careful here, where they've clearly been the dominating team the last 25 minutes here, but they're not winning. It's still a tie game. It's still 0-0, so they can't just – now, obviously, they're not shutting off. They're doing a great job running here, but you have to maintain conversation. You have to maintain communication. You have to maintain heart, right? It's one thing to play hard for 25 minutes. Can you make that into 45 and then do it again the next half? So, especially without reward, right? They've been playing so well here the last 25 minutes, but they have reaped absolutely nothing from their harvest yet.
Yeah, it's easy to get very frustrated if you're a team controlling a large portion of the game, and we see the Vulcans getting a bit rash, and it seems like they're tired of just sitting on their heels waiting for the game to happen. They're trying to make the game – they're trying to take the game towards the Raiders, and it's going to result in a corner for the Raiders as Odegaard comes over to cover, sends that one out of play. And the Raiders have a chance, have a good attacking opportunity here to just float one into the box for one of their defenders or their midfielders to just try to get on the end of.
Yeah, that ball up there that Gretz lunged for, someone could have told him, like, hey, there's no one coming. You have some time. You have like 10 yards of space all the way around you. You got a 10-yard radius. Take your time, gather that ball instead of lunging for it. But again, no one told him. No one told him. All right, corner time.
The Raiders sending the troops forward, loading the box. Ball in towards the middle, and great header away by Morelli. I mean, it's hard to miss him.
Indeed it is.
Gets up there, sends that one out for a Shippensburg throw on this near side. It's going to be Warwick taking the throw, looking for someone to come to the near post. Like I said, this is where I really shine. Need to get this man, teach him plays here. Is
indeed
able to get into Shiflett. Shiflett, great turn, able to get out of pressure, but the touch just a bit heavy.
Get a touch.
Billis
there you go.
Able to just try to hold it up.
Card? Maybe? Nah. Wasn't the last man back. But you're right. Great turn there. Shiflett does have immaculate ball control.
And I think that's just where the Vulcans have to be a bit careful, because you see Shiflett move around like that in and around the area, and it's very easy to just dangle leg out there. Shiflett trips over you, give up a penalty. And penalties, I think, was it over 75? It's like 78% of the time end up in the back of the net. So
I guess that's the idea, isn't it?
It's
Still.
just when you have someone that dangerous on the ball who is just so crafty and can just move and just do things with the ball that just hard to deal with as a defender. The Vulcans have to be careful. They luck out that time with some good defending, and the Vulcans under a ton of pressure as Bamfo wins it. And Bamfo with the left-hand shot. Great save by Visca, who dives down to his left, forces that one around the post, because it wasn't the cleanest of shots from Bamfo, but Visca needed to get a hand on it, I think.
I think Bamfo's coming out here. He's played well. He's done a good job pressuring our three defensive backs, I guess you could say. Yeah, I think this game, I think you made a call to it here, John. I think we're even look at this. Look how we're structured for this goal kick. It's three guys back and then everyone else up. You're playing with two wing backs, Wolhovic and Reyes on this side, and then you have two center midfielders, 6 and 8. Percival and who's number 8 on us?
And Nabinski.
And Nabinski. And then you have Gretz and Billis coming down the middle. Damn, this is they're playing with a lot of cojones tonight. I'm here for it. You got to dream.
Nabinski surrounded by three, and it's going to be Shiflett trying to win the ball back, and Nabinski with some stout defending, able to just force a throw, and the quick throw from Shiflett trying to fire it in towards Henry, and Henry trying to just get that one into the box.
You can feel
you can go for corners, or no, it's going to be a deep throw. That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. You can feel Shippensburg crawl their way back in. They're coming into port here.
Davies just trying to float that one in towards the back post, and no one there for the Raiders. And like you said, the water's starting to calm a little bit for the Raiders. They were under a ton of pressure from the Vulcans earlier on, but they've seemed to just steady the ship, able to set sail towards the right direction.
That's right.
They use all the ship puns and the ship jokes.
Now the water's starting to churn a little bit for us. I almost want to say our wingbacks are playing almost too far forward here, especially off a goal kick. It doesn't give our center backs any wide options, which makes it very easy for them to be pressed.
Great moves by Percival there, just sliding, winning the ball back. Nabinski,
look at this.
Under pressure, turning it away. And like you said, not a ton of options for the defense as Morelli just trying to fire it forward. And Reyes, with the back to goal, able to work his way around the defender. And Reyes gets it in towards Billis. Billis just trying to find anyone. Great defense by Shippensburg. And it's going to be Glenlass firing it forward. And Odegaard couldn't get there first as it was Obasa. Got a touch on it, but Abasa's touch ends up out of play for a Vulcan throw, and 13:58 left to go. Deadlocked here at 0. Each team just looking for that breakthrough. It seems like every time the teams are able to move up a few inches, it seems like they just get pushed right back, and so no one able to crack this game open yet. But Obasa putting in some moves, getting around not one but two defenders. His ball in, gets past everybody, and is able to find its way to Kramer here on this back post. Kramer has some time. Low pass, lets it go.
That's Shiflett.
It's going to be Shiflett getting it onto his left foot. Just couldn't get the strike he wanted to. Straight to Visco. Great positioning from AJ Visco in the net, but I think Shiflett might be kicking himself a little bit as he probably could have done way better on that shot.
I wonder if he's predominantly left-footed there. He took the extra touch and a half to move it over to his left foot when if you would have taken it, that's a foul. You just can't allow Shiflett and or Obasa any room in the kitchen. I mean, once that oven gets turned on, it's going to be dangerously hot for the Vulcans here because both of them are just phenomenal ball control players.
Yeah, and the Vulcans, whenever those two have the ball in and around the box, they need to cut down quickly. And Gretz firing the ball into the channel for Billis to get on the end of, and Billis, quick enough, is going to be able to get there in time. Billis trying to throw on a bit of a Burba spin there, trying to get him around the defender, wins a corner for the Vulcans, and California has a chance to breathe, send the troops forward, and try to hammer home a goal here.
Yeah, California by no means is, I would say, the better technical team here. I would say without a doubt in my mind, I would say Shippensburg is better on the ball than California. But the way California can and will win this game is if they continue to out-hustle Shippensburg, as they have done in the first 25 to 30 minutes here. Short corner.
Dubinsky playing it short to Wojtovich, and Wojtovich gets around his man, and Wojtovich with the right foot, and right idea, but once again, always rising, couldn't quite get himself settled, just leaning back as he shot and sends that one out of play. Another good chance for the Vulcans.
Yeah, it just seems like that far ridge with all those beautiful colors is just too picturesque, and we just can't quite see the goal this afternoon here. It's fine. I'd be distracted too. Those fall colors are mad beautiful back there.
Yeah, and once again, good bit of play from Wojtovich there, able to just take a man on, able to beat him, work it onto his favored right foot, but just leaning back as he shot it. That shot, again, always rising, always going to be difficult. And Wojtovich able to win the header, showing off a bit of that physicality. You wouldn't expect it.
Indeed.
From I don't want to call him a little guy and be mean to, but the
He's pretty short.
5'6" man on the field definitely.
Oh, he just got subbed.
Isn't the biggest of the bunch, and like you said, going to get subbed out of the game.
I can't see the number from here. My eyesight is failing me here.
I can't quite see the number on that far side.
Great.
Vulcans making a substitution.
Great home crowd turnout here, John. I mean, we have like at least 75 to 100 people in the stands. The stands are almost full. It's a great fall afternoon here, and just more people keep pouring in. You love to see this for Division II soccer.
Yeah, a lot of local teams. I see. Believe the Cal Middle School and high school soccer teams. I know I saw some members of the women's soccer team here. I saw the entirety of the women's volleyball team here in support as well. And so, love to see not only everyone coming out, but also just the team supporting each other, having each other's back, and trying to pump up the crowd here as we get into the last couple of minutes of this first half, of just over 10 to play. And that substitute, number 26, it's Riley Zimmerman for the Vulcans in on that far side in place of Wojtovich. Finally saw the number.
Well done, John. Good eyes. You got good eyes. I'm the one with glasses here.
Visco under some pressure from Shippensburg. Had to clear that one out of play. So it's
He's really winding up for this one. There it is.
Floated throw into the box, flicked on.
Talk.
And Pinero had to clear that one away. Straight to the feet of Billis, who doesn't get the greatest first touch on it, but gets a good second touch on it. And Sims in pursuit, but that one just a bit too strong for Sims to run down. And Glenlass, quick off his line, able to come out and scoop that one up.
It's like when you got a dish and you're cooking, right? And you're like, oh, this needs a little bit more salt. And you open up the salt drawer, like a salt container, and all the salt comes out onto your chicken. You're like, I know it needed salt, but not that much. It is what it is. That's how that pass was. Great idea again. Just way too much mustard. Way too much salt.
It comes with just like an erratic first touch, and that one was not from Shippensburg, as Obasa just getting the ball caught up into his feet. The Vulcans able to recover, able to make a tackle and send it out of play. And still, as we're now under 10 minutes, we're now at the 9-minute mark here left in the first half. Still nothing as Shippensburg trying to find the breakthrough as Kramer into the box. Kramer trying to send it back. The quick shot blocked. Second chance shot gets cleared away. Great movement in and around the box. And that was number 26 for Shippensburg. Palauku able to get the ball forward. Who got substituted in. Just could not quite get the shot in as the ball floated into the box, cut out by Odegaard, and Odegaard trying to dispossess the Shiflet, and Shiflet's shot just goes too high.
And that guy is like he was born with the ball at his feet, man. It's glued to him.
Yeah, that man came out of the womb.
He came out of the womb
with the futsal ball.
He did.
Attached to him, and wins him and his team a corner here, as it's going to be number 9 for the Raiders. Davies over to take the corner here for the Raiders, with a ton of men into the box. Davies with a low-driven corner. That one floats all the way through, and the shot too high, but Davies still has a chance to recover that, but took an awkward bounce, an awkward angle, and a good brand play by Shippensburg.
I dig it.
Quite pull it off.
I love a good low ball every once in a while, as long as it's on purpose. I mean, as a striker, you want the ball at your feet, not your head most of the time. Good clean tackle, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, Shiflet dispossessing Reyes and the Raiders trying to play it back on the 1-2. Shiflet now in possession. And
look at this.
Just dancing around the field, and great cross field pass. And the
Beautiful.
Raiders loading the cannons, and the shot off the mark, as it was Paluku
Now it seems like Shippensburg is the team with the pie in the oven, man. It's baking. You can feel it. The kitchen's getting hotter out there. Oh,
I'm gonna say it's.
I'm getting nervous.
Palikau. I'm trying to remember
how to say it. I think it is. I think it is Palikau.
Palikau.
I think it is.
Paul Palikau. There's Ethan Palikau.
Ethan Palikau. Yes.
Sophomore out of Lancaster. That shot.
Yeah.
Just off the mark, and
we do want to give a massive shout out to Shippensburg's media team for every one of their players here playing today. They had them voice record their names, so we as announcers, we as fans can correctly say their names in the way that they want it to be said, which goes so far.
Doing the extra work, and obviously, I don't remember the work that we did to get to this situation. Like you said, we were looking at them earlier because some of them have some funky names. Every team does.
That's the fun part.
That is the best part.
It makes your tongue dance, man. I'm still so horrible at it, but it does go so far for me. Not just the vocalization of the names, but even the pronunciation of them. What do you call it?
Just like the tone and the inflection of where to say the certain syllables. Like I said, I always have a name game. My winner today is number 4 for Shippensburg, Abdul Rahman Obasa.
Yes, beautiful. And also he plays like his name, man. It's graceful indeed. It just rolls off the tongue, much like the ball rolls off of his foot. Oh, great header there by number 2.
Great recovery made in the back by Henry, just cutting that pass out, and Zimmerman doing just enough to to throw off Versus on that far side, forcing the ball out of play. There's now under 5.5 to go, and
great
the game
touch.
Still tied at 0. The deadlock has not been broken. Someone just looking for anything here, and the Vulcans not going to get anything with that as Panera's pass intercepted in the midfield, but the Vulcans able to get it back. Great ball forward.
That's a card.
Not after a rash tackle on that far side on Odegaard.
Damn. I mean, gosh darn. That was I wasn't way late, but
yeah, it was Palikau
on such
on the far side, and Odegaard's down, and
he's playing with a cast. I mean, then again, fair enough. It's not like you need your hand too much in soccer, but still, my man's already injured.
Yeah, I don't think
they're not getting paid out there.
Don't think it's the arm is grabbing for it. It's more like a lower body injury. And
where's the trainer at?
Odegaard's still just taking a minute. Looks like he's now sitting down. Looks like he's going to get to his feet here shortly, and hopefully everything's all right with him, because we talked about the defense so integral to keep together as a unit. It's so hard to try to form that chemistry between each other without being on the field together, and Odegaard able to get back to his feet and without having to see the trainer isn't going to have to come off the field.
No. We got lucky there. We got lucky.
Hopefully everything's all right with him, and
spit it out. Spit out that pain.
Able to just work off maybe a bit of a knock in the last 5 minutes or so.
One of my favorite teammates I had growing up, both in AYSO and in high school, was Greg Catherman, still a good friend of mine. And you would take a brutal tackle out there.
He was always doing something for you as Palikau tried to work his way back on, but just couldn't quite get back there in time. It was Henry who played him through. Palikau just took off a bit early, tried to come back.
But yeah,
great line held by the Vulcans.
Indeed, good patience there. But when you take a brutal tackle and you'd be on the ground wincing, and Gray would come over to you, get up. That's all you'd say, and then magically the pain would go away. You didn't want to disappoint Gray, and sometimes that's all you need.
Something with his words as Sims floated through. Great tackle made at the back by Avery Warwick, and the Vulcan Pilots gets knocked down as him and Glenlass went for the ball. And the Vulcans still with possession, trying to go forward. And it's that man once again, Shiflett, able to just get the ball off his feet. Obasa able to work around Gretz. And these two in the midfield able to work the Raiders out of some serious danger.
They are worth the ticket price here, John. Beautiful soccer. That pass was a little lackluster, but everything else in that play was beautiful.
Yeah, Zimmerman now, and the Vulcans have numbers, floats that one into the box, falls to nobody. Sims and Bilos were there. But this game now very much in an end-to-end aspect as we wind down to 3:40 left to go here in the first half. Tons of space for either teams to play in as They're just going back and forth,
Oh,
back
this
and
is
forth,
beautiful.
back and forth. Ball floated into the box, trying to find Henry, but that one a bit too straight. Ends up into the gloves of Visco, and now we just have a chance to breathe.
Yes, indeed. Oh, what a beautiful game of soccer, ladies and gentlemen. The lights are on, the clouds are developing some color along with the leaves, and man, the play is just wide open. It may be 0-0, but I am absolutely thrilled tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, and I didn't have to pay anything to be here.
A 0-0 game so far that has the excitement of about a 4 or 5 goal game, and still has the chance to be that as Reyes and Sims not on the same page, with Bilas not giving up on the play, chasing it down into the corner, going to concede the foul. Great defense there, that once again by the Raiders. It was Henry who got knocked over, and
I hate to be the dude, but in that scenario, right, you're chasing them. Oh, that was late.
a bit of a hasty challenge made by Gretz, who lingered a leg
That could have been
on
a card.
Henry, and he's getting a talking to by the referee, but
Yeah.
I believe he does maybe a lucky job to
Yes.
evade a card that time, as
It wasn't as egregious as Shippensburg's tackles for sure. Absolutely. But it was behind. It was from behind. Get a touch. There
great
you go.
defending that time by Reyes, able to
Yes.
just prevent the one-on-one scenario, and the Vulcans still with possession of the ball, just trying to play that forward towards Sims, and again the ball is not angled maybe at the position you would like. You want them more in the channels towards the flags, not towards the keeper. Just
That's a
'cause
good point.
Gives the keeper more to run onto.
Absolutely.
The Vulcans still playing this high press, but Shippensburg doing a better job at adjusting to it. Definitely some labored legs after this first half of
Yes.
play, as that ball goes off of
Indeed.
Zimmerman out of bounds. 1:45 left to go here in the first half, and
I'm out of breath just watching this. I'm thrilled. Okay. Oh, man, Shiflet's just dancing. Oh, will you go to homecoming? Yes, I will, ladies and gentlemen. This is beautiful.
either team just looking maybe for that one last breakthrough before the halftime whistle.
Good
And
ball.
Shippensburg
And Morelli got
time.
it. Easy money.
Morelli winning the header there. Percival getting it out wide, and Nabinski and the rest just trying to just play it around. 1:15 left to go. Ball goes all the way back to Visco, and if you're either team, you don't want to give up a chance this late in the half. As Morelli able
With
to
the
get it
left
forward.
foot.
Reyes flicks it on with the header, but straight at the feet. Reyes able to win it back, but great touch once again by Shiflet.
But, man, the pure hunger there. I mean, Reyes has just played great. I mean, he came in for Harrington, he was having a good game. And I think Reyes has played a little more defensive than Harrington has. But, man, he's been tenacious and hungry out there. I love to see it. Look at that, man. His head's below his shoulders. He's panning. He's eating it up. He's enjoying the moment. We dream for nights like these, Ben. We do.
30 seconds remaining, and it looks like Visco and the Vulcans may be happy just to wind things down here. Visco sends it forward, maybe has enough time for one final chance down the stretch as Odegaard just powers it forward. Great bit of defending that time by Warwick, who's able to get it forward, and it's Henry now.
Good
Henry
ball.
playing it into the channel towards Palukau. Palukau, high clipping ball towards the back post, just out of the reach of Henry, and that's going to be the halftime whistle. Game even at 0 between Shippensburg and California. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back here for the second half between California and Shippensburg on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC network, and 91.9 FM WCAL.
Suffering from World Cup withdrawal? Well, Vulcan men's and women's soccer has you covered. Come up and watch the region's best soccer teams do battle in a combined 18 home games at the beautiful Shippensburg Soccer Complex. In addition, 3 men's and 3 women's home games will be featured live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Follow Cal Vulcans for up-to-date information on all things Vulcan soccer. Check, 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 check.
non-conference matchup between the California Vulcans and the Shippensburg Raiders. And while we have a second, before we get into it, I'd like to give a quick shout-out to our dear friend, who we miss very much, Claire Rothermall, who now at Shippensburg, we don't have a chance to make fun of in person or get to embarrass in person like we would before, so we get to make this graphic. So I know she's watching us because she texted us a few minutes ago, texted me and Nate, and she was like, I'm waiting for we told her we were at halftime, and she was like, all right, I'm ready to see this graphic. So shout out Claire, we miss you very much sometimes, but hope you're having fun over there, because I know she's doing soccer of her own tonight at Shippensburg for the women's game. So
no way,
having fun over there.
Good for her.
Getting to cover the dual soccer coverage.
Absolutely.
We're doing it here for her. She's doing it there for Shippensburg. Huh. And we miss her very much as well. So shout out Claire, and
it's good to have friends that never forget you.
Friends that never forget you. Friends in all different sorts of places.
Yeah. But it's good to have friends that are remote and like far away from everyone, which is nice. Not that Shippensburg's that far. It's like what, 3 hours east of us?
3 hours east, about an hour north of Harrisburg. So
hour south? An hour south by Chambersburg? We looked this up earlier. Was it an hour south?
No, it was north. It was north.
It was
I think
north?
It was north of Harrisburg.
Okay.
More towards that middle of the state. So
perfect. Okay.
Having fun out there. And
good for her.
I know right now as well, I believe, just talked to Gary before we got started, showed a graphic of the PSAC West standings, where the Vulcans, I believe, sitting in 5th place out of 7th. So on 3 points so far, just trying to claw their way up the standings. And this game not going to count towards that. Not going to count towards those standings in terms of adding on the points, but just a good chance to get that building block, able to get some confidence,
get that ball rolling,
get the ball rolling, and try to take that momentum into the back half of the season, where we talked about the games don't really get that much easier. They never do.
No.
And so you need to take every win where you can get them. And the sun finally down here at the Phillipsburg Soccer Complex in California. The lights in the stadium turned on, and we're about to get ready for an exciting second half after a first half where both teams had their chances, but neither one able to take them quite how they wanted to, and the game's still tied at 0.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd stayed around somewhat. It thinned out a little bit over halftime, but overall, I think it maintained.
I think they went to the bathroom, because I know some more are building up. I know like 2 are left over here in the booth down at the far end. I know, like I said, I saw the entirety of the women's volleyball team coming here in support. So
good bit of the women's soccer team as well is here. And like you said, you have middle school and high school teams here from the local
some
middle school.
Yeah, Cal middle school, high school teams, and a couple of fans from Shippensburg as well making their way out here. I know I saw some of the Vulcan softball team out here as well. So
yeah, is there a player you want to have fans or people watching in from home keep an eye on this? I usually prep you during halftime, but I unfortunately did not this time.
I mean, I was talking way too much with with a lot of people, so I maybe didn't do my due diligence during the halftime.
Absolutely
but
fine.
I think for the Vulcans, I think Billis has been a standout so far.
Yes.
He has been all season, but in this game has just been the motor of that front line for the Vulcans. Has had his chances, and if you give him a few more, he's going to score. He
has to. He has to. Because really, goals don't come from very much else on this team, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if for Shippensburg, if you're watching at home there, Dalton Shiflett, number 10, the junior out of Frederick, Maryland, he is just a wonder with the ball at his feet. And Shippensburg going to get us underway to start the second half. Now going from right to left. The Vulcans going from left to right. And it was Shiflett's ball headed away deep down the field.
No Obasa to start the second half here.
And the ball going to come off of the foot of Gretz and out of play in Shippensburg. Have a quick throw to start on the far side.
Turn.
Trying to play it into the space, but great read by Percival. Able to clear that one forward. And the ball trying to find Billis just off the mark in Shippensburg.
They'll do well, Vulcans, the home team here, to remember and maintain that tenacity, that intensity that got them into those good positions in the first half.
And Nabinski maybe a bit lucky, as him and Wojtovich just weren't on the same page there. And Wojtovich and the Vulcans able to get the ball back and just trying to get it out. And Wojtovich cuts back into the tackle of Henry. And Shippensburg doing a great bit with possession here, as a foul just outside the box. That was Cam Henry getting taken down by Morelli. And dangerous position, maybe a a little bit far for a shot, but
I don't know.
I think like it's one
know.
where you're definitely going to shoot it, but it's not the most comfortable distance.
That's
but
true.
Shiflett
Might have a
they're
leg.
taking
Oh!
scissors over top of it. Shiflett loses out to Ashton Davies.
No way.
Who's now going to be taking the free kick.
Not in a tie game. Not like this. He better at least put it on target now. That's wild.
That is some. I
just
don't want to say
shenanigans.
disrespectful behavior, but criminal. As it's Davies now with the right foot, and Davies' shot had some good height, had some good power, but just couldn't get quite the curl on it.
Didn't dip.
Just didn't dip on it. Went over out of play. So first maybe half opportunity for the Raiders to start the second half. The flag only at half mast, and like I said, I don't think I've ever seen it done that way. Just trying to see who's going to take the free kick
in a tie game, in a stalemate tie game, mind you. Not like a 0. It's like a 0-0. Not like a 2-2 tie game where it's clear that you can score. It's one of these tie games where you're scraping away for a good chance. I'm here for it. It wasn't a bad shot. I mean, he can't be that angry at him. But I would have liked to see Shiflett, who's been the clear best player for Shippensburg, over that ball, because he does seem to be quite gifted. So I don't know what the coach is going to have to say about that, but I'm sure it's somewhat predetermined. I hope so, at least, for their sake.
I thought it was funny, but
I did
again,
too.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And great ball through, and good recovery by Morelli, and he needed to, because two Raiders attackers were right there on the scene. I believe it was Henry and it was Vitero in and around the area, just potentially about to cause problems. So great recovery by Morelli, able to get it over there in time.
All right, John, we got a John throw here, I think he's winding up for a long one. Absolutely. See if he keeps his feet down. Feet are down.
The form looks similar, and all floated in. Header won by the Vulcans, but only cleared back out to the thrower, who's going to just whip this one into the box. Second header won, and ends up into the hands of Visco. And again, neither team dealing with these headed balls in and around the box. It was number 8 Brandt who got a head on it that ended up into the hands of Visco.
All right, now can we press? The answer is kind of. Kind of. Shippensburg's getting these triangles down. They're moving it up. Oh, great interception. Great pressure by Gretz, and great interception by Percival there.
And the ball just played into the channel for Sims to run onto, but very astute goalkeeping by Glenn Last, who's able to come out and secure the ball for his team. And just slowing things down here at the start of the second half. I know we saw the Vulcans come up with a flying start to that first half, and then as the game wore on, Shippensburg had a lion's share of the chances. So the Vulcans trying to emulate maybe a bit of that beginning of the first half form is.
They better not set with the sun here, because it did get dark, but they got to keep that energy going. They got to keep that evening.
Ball going to end up straight at the feet of Billis, and Billis, that ball is going to go straight. Now Sims with the shot pass. No one really knew what was going on, and I believe it was Zimmerman who played it in, and Sims ended up being offsides, and I kind of agree with you. I thought that he probably should have just taken the shot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Zimmerman had it on his right foot, had a chance to just try to curl it, tried to test Glenn Last in the net, but ends up at the feet of Sims, who was offside. And
yeah, it's one he'll look back at tomorrow. I'll go to bed thinking about it tonight. But good news is, hopefully we won't. Just him.
Yeah,
good step.
I'm not going to.
Sometimes I go to bed thinking about this. When I come to these games, right, which, mind you, I just love because it's just free ticket price, and I'm a poor college kid.
The ball finds its way over to Henry, and Henry with a chance, and Henry's shot going always high. Wojtovich did just enough to put him off, but the Vulcans showing some cracks in the back there, just maybe the midfield and the defense not on the same line, just allowing the Raiders in and around that space, just at the top of the box, and that time Henry just couldn't quite pull the shot down.
This is a fascinating game because I honestly don't think either team's trying to be defensive here. I think it's just both teams think that they can score, rightfully so, as you can tell. Like, was that Warwick there or Zimmerman on one end, and then just a minute later, similar shot, or could have been shot, for Shippensburg right down the other end. Like, both teams are just hungry. They're just going at it. They're cooking on the same stove this evening.
And again, that just shows that even though the game's 0-0, each team have had their lion's share of chances, and it's only a matter of time before one of them is able to score one. And I mean, that throw, I don't think the ball ever came in.
No,
so
I
it's
don't
going to
think
end
so.
up in possession of the Vulcans, who able to get it into Billis, who's surrounded by 3 defenders. But Gretz on the ball now, able to get past his defender in Shiflin, and now Sims with the ball on the left-hand side, just trying to make himself work. Floats it into the box. Great header. Gets it away from Percival, who was right there to head it home. And that was Brandt, who got a touch on it, and he needed to. And now Brandt trying to get his team forward.
That was a good ball.
Lovely floated ball down the middle of the seams.
Good control.
And Henry able to get to it first. Henry plays it off, and the shot just wide as Kramer and it was Kramer who was able to come up, able to give Henry some support.
It's one of those boxing matches where you got 2 heavyweights, or I would say middleweights here, respectfully to both teams here, and they're not caring about defense, right? They're just throwing haymakers all game long here. We're going to go all 12 rounds, not for the lack of trying. Clearly, both teams want that knockout blow. We just had an opportunity down there. 30 seconds later, Shippensburg again. It's just back and forth, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on to your seats.
Yeah, and no heavyweight is going 12 rounds in a boxing match. Just make that very clear. They don't have the stamina for it. Someone's
fair.
getting knocked out within the first 6, and that's going to be the end of it. And
Fair
the
enough.
Vulcans win themselves a throw in the middle of the field. And
Wait, I think Tyson Furries and Devontae Wilder sometimes went the distance. Then again, that was when they were a little bit older, to be fair.
And again, I think in matches like that, you don't get the full display of what it means to be a heavyweight.
That's true.
You're there to see the big punches, as the low ball given up to Wojtovich here on the near side, and Wojtovich spinning into some problems, trying to get round a second defender, and does so. Keeps the ball in play and able to just get out of a jam here. Wojtovich trying to work into the box, able to find Sims. Sims gets dispossessed, and the Raiders able to clear.
He should have just, respectfully, he got around, and then he had an opportunity to cross. Maybe he didn't have anyone in the middle, but just at that point, just take a rip in. But fair enough.
Just do something.
Do something. Yeah.
Percival with
but it was a great effort, though.
Backward flicked header and a bad clearance by Shippensburg. And I believe that time it was number 17, Andrew Versus. Just got it all wrong and going to end up going out for a throw here on this near side. Wojtovich to take. The Vulcan sending a couple players to his aid, able to find Sims.
Ooh.
Nice touch, but
It's offside.
Wojtovich, that's what I'm saying. Has the capability of pulling off the fancy, but that time played it to Gretz, who was just offside.
Was he the guy you went to high school with?
I played against Wojtovich a lot in high school.
You played against high school.
And
okay.
he scored a lot against us.
Yeah, I could tell. He's a nifty fella out there. He definitely is.
It's like 130 goals maybe in a
wow.
4-year career. Very, very
wow.
Extremely talented individual. Him and Evan McIntyre for the Charleroi Cougars put in the hours and won a couple of one. I think we were 2A section champions for in the Whippeal, and so he did some great job in putting on that work on display. Here is Bilas trying to get it down the line. Zimmerman pursued, and Zimmerman shoving him a little bit. The referee doesn't see it, as doesn't have that good of a view on the back end. And
I guess if you want the foul there, you got to fall down. Fair enough. He extended the elbows. I don't know.
I mean, it is a foul.
It is a foul.
But
the guy didn't fall down.
Nothing called. The Vulcans play on.
Ooh.
Zimmerman gets it over to Sims. And Sims just getting ran down by Kramer, getting run down by everyone. Able to find Morelli in the back. Morelli nearly gets intercepted, but able to find Odegaard, and Odegaard
good
forward to Gretz, and Gretz.
Oh, beautiful.
Over to Wojtovich.
Beautiful.
The Vulcans playing some good football here, just able to move it around, and Wojtovich just trying to keep the defenders on his toes, forces the tackle we made, and the Vulcans win themselves another throw.
That was people at home may not understand how hard it is to keep the ball on the ground in possession and whip it around the entire field there. That was some great passing by the Vulcans.
Back to front, just able to move it all around, and the Vulcans win themselves a corner here on this near side. 34-30 left to play in the second half, excuse me.
Feels like the first half with all the energy that's going on the field right now.
Yeah, with everything that's been going on, and it's going to be Nabinski over to take the corner once again. The senior out of Ardara, Pennsylvania, the chance to leave his mark on this game. In swinging cross to Nabinski. That one headed, and great save made by Glenn Lass. It was Bilas, believe, who got the head on it. But great diving save made by Glenn Lass, is able to hold on to it as well.
It was a weird. It was. I'll let you cook.
The Vulcans are just, like you said, they're knocking on the door, and so far Shippensburg have been able to fend them off, and now they have a chance to go the other way themselves. And great defending by the Vulcans as that pass from Shiflett out of play, and I believe a foul throw or something called. Now there's a second ball on the field. All sorts of things are happening. I don't think the referee was quite ready. I don't.
Well, I like that. That was good.
They're not quite ready.
Not quite ready for
the throw to be taken.
Want to go hunt some wabbits? I like. All right, great pass there by Shippensburg.
Ball floated into the box, and Shiflett gets a head on it, and Shiflett finds the back of the net, and we talked about it as he does the slide into the corner. You can't keep him down for long, and if you're the Vulcans, he's the one that you have to keep your eye on. And Dalton Shiflett, unmarked, and able to just head home the cross and gives the Raiders of Shippensburg a 1-0 lead. 33:05 left to go here in the second half.
Great. It was odd, funky ball going on, like the throwing out there on the far right side, and then they cleaned it up. Good pass to the corner flag, and then just a beautiful pinpoint cross in towards Shiflett there. And then the captain, I'm assuming captain, knocked it in, and 1-0 Shippensburg, the visitors.
The 6'1" junior midfielder out of Frederick, Maryland. Like I said, he's leaving his mark on the game.
He is. He's a commanding figure out there. He's played excellently.
And it's now time to see if the Vulcans can answer back, if they were able to take the blow and able to deliver one towards Shippensburg as a nice backheel pass from Biles trying to find Zimmerman, and that one just trails out of play. And we talked about usually when the Vulcans have lost this season, when they lose big, and neither team very or Shippensburg more comfortable in these close game scenarios. So the onus is on the Vulcans to try to get back into this game, and they need to do so quickly here. As
relax.
Ball still moving. As Gretsch just tried to take the quick free kick, and I don't blame him, as some holes were made in that mid space between the midfield and the defense. And if you're Shippensburg, everything that you've played for so far has gone your way. You've been able to hold off the Vulcans, able to get yourselves a goal, and now just need to see the game through. But the Vulcans won't go quietly into the night here as Gretsch is trying to get the ball forward, just trying to penetrate this Raiders defense, and the ship has just not been able to be steered off course so far. Odegaard now on the near side, takes a strong infield touch, gets themselves wrapped up, but able to get it to the near side to Sims, and Sims calm under pressure, and Odegaard doing some great work here with the ball at his foot.
Played that Shiflett
straight into it, Shiflett, but Odegaard gets it right back and nearly able to get it through. But Wojtovich now on the ball, under some pressure, just trying to find an angle, just trying to turn the corner. Maybe could have passed it off to Sims, just try to work it back infield, but Wojtovich is trying to make something happen.
Before this game began, like you and I were doing some research for this game, looking at the statistics, and Shippensburg has given up like 150 odd shots not on goal, but just in general throughout their games. But they've only been scored on, I think, 10 or 12
times in 9 games. So
which is not that many goals per game, right? But especially, and you're seeing it in this game, it's repeating the same pattern. They give up shots, clearly, high numbers of them, but they just won't give up a goal. They are a resilient bunch.
Yeah, very bend but don't break mentality from the entire team, because, I mean, the defensive unit and the shots given up is a team effort, because everyone has to play their part in the machine that is getting back on defense, making sure that every man is marked and that no one has some free space. And Shippensburg sometimes maybe lacks in that area, but make sure that they don't give up the goals, and it's going to be a hard one to come by for the Vulcans.
Great
move by Gretz into space, and Gretz has a man, but waited just a second too long to play Wojtovich. But Percival able to recover, able to get the ball back for the Vulcans, and finds Morelli. 30 minutes and 12 seconds left to go here in the second half of play. Everything for the Vulcans now has to go perfectly to try to get back into the game, and that ball going to end up out of play, and Morelli on the scene and needed to cut out that throw, and Odegaard potentially under some pressure here, gets it back to Visco, and Visco, dangerous game he's playing here, as he almost left that pass a bit too short.
Such immense maturity for a freshman there by Odegaard. You just see it time and time again. Odegaard is just so patient. It's almost as if, he's like moving through molasses out there, and he makes you swim in it too. He does a great job of handling pressing, pressure, any level of it. He does a great job. Sometimes a little too cocky for my liking, but man, does it work 85, 90% of the time.
Great passage of passing here from the Raiders. They're just going to hold it up in the corner, as I believe it's Paluku out there is able to win the Raiders a corner on that far side, and that's where the Vulcans need to be dangerous. They need to be able to clear the ball. They need to be able to spring a good counterattack on the back end.
This is where the game opens
try to get back
up.
Into it.
Absolutely.
We saw Leicester City win a Premier League title off of a play like this, averaged like less than 50% possession on the season, and won the whole thing as the header straight into the arms of Visco. And you see Wojtovic just trying to make himself available, but Visco just waiting for the team to get up the field, waiting just for everyone to get in their place, and just going to send a high punt up the field.
The Vulcans will do well to remember that they're not playing bad. They have, I would say, at least 60 to 70% of the possession. They're the team that's pressuring. They're doing a great job of maintaining control on this side of the field. They can't give up on their philosophy of control because they have done a great job of that this game. They've had their chances. Another chance will come. There's another 25 minutes left to play.
Kramer playing that chip ball into the channel for
Talk to
Luku
him.
to run on to Morelli with some phenomenal defending. Clears that one not only as far as Kramer, who keeps it into the Vulcan half, but for the Raiders, and plays it forward to Paluku, who sends that or takes that touch out of play. And the Vulcans got to make a substitutions.
One of my good friends, the player that's coming in now, Chris, one of my good friends, Adam, is his RA. And he's a very nice fella. And Chris plays more as like a central midfielder here, so I'll be curious to see where he plays. He played very well, I think, against Gannon, even though they lost 5-0. He was a very good, impactful sub. Controlled the ball, maintained possession, and found his teammates well on the flanks. Yeah. He's a good midfielder.
In a game like that, it's hard to have any sort of... Maybe it's hard to find anything good to happen in a game like that, but some bright spots for the Vulcans in a tough defeat, and 2 substitutions made for California, like you said. Number 11 comes into the game, Christopher McMeal, and on the far side, another substitution for the Vulcans comes into the game as well.
Is that your man Rifkin?
I believe
it is. Is it? 2?
It is number 2, Josh Rifkin.
Josh Rifkin.
Into the game for the Vulcans at left back.
What a ball. Oh, wow. Great job, Aldgard. Good ball back. Someone talk. Don't cook by yourself.
Wojtovic is playing it into the channel for Sims to run on to. Great pass back to the keeper.
Good pressing.
The Vulcans still applying a ton of pressure here. 27-18 left to go. And California still with... Have a hold on this game, but just need to come up with something here to make it an eventful last 15, 20 minutes or so at the end of this game.
Good ball by Chris there. Delicate, doesn't need to rush it. Gives his teammate plenty of time in the middle to gather and find the far left flank pass. Oop.
Sims nearly trips over, but able to keep it under control.
Good foul.
He's going to get brought down and in a good position here to just send into the box. The Vulcans are going to send the men marching forward. Going to send some tall bodies into the box. I see Morelli going up there. I see Odgaard going up there.
Odgaard's going up.
Sending in the cavalry.
Indeed. The tanks are going forward. One of the fans must have some very good smelling food. We have a window open up here in the broadcast, and the smells are wafting in. And let's see if this free kick is as good as this food smells.
And Dubinsky's standing over it and has some big targets to aim for in the box. Can he find them? Dubinsky's ball towards the back post. Header won by Shippensburg, but not cleared out of the box. Going to land Rifkin trying to win it. Going to get fall down in the shot by Billis out of play. I believe a foul called in the box against Rifkin. Him and the defender couldn't win the first or the second header. Fell to Billis, whose shot went out of play.
Again, good opportunity, well worked, scrappy. I'd say scrappy free kick. I don't think they might have drawn that up exactly during practice, but it was a good free kick. Send the cavalry forward. You got a shot away from it, even though there was a foul that preceded the shot. Just do it again. 25 minutes, a long time.
Glenn Lass's kick.
Good jump there.
Ends up at the feet of Morelli. Morelli just plays it into the space, and Bilas has the legs to get to it, and Bilas gets there first, and Bilas plays it back, trying to find Retson, and falls to Rifkin, and Rifkin shot. Oh my God, I thought he did it again. I mean, that left foot, man, when he gets a hold of one, he gets a hold of it, and that one narrowly misses as it was trying to bend towards that far corner.
I mean, great hustle there by Billis. Great rolled cross back. It's just there wasn't anyone there. Just wasn't anyone there. Luckily, the ricochet bounced out to the Vulcans, and Rifkin, as you said, rifled to one end, rifled to dream in, and man, I'll keep sleeping if that dream is that good. And
for being a defender, Rifkin definitely has some good attacking prowesses.
Talk.
The ball floating around in the air. A couple of headers won. It's going to end up at the feet of Henry, and great clearance by McMill, who's just putting his body on the line, able to find Billis, and Billis just working it into the space again, plays it forward towards Sims, and Sims has a full head of steam, but Glenlast fast off his line again. He's been phenomenal so far here today for the Raiders. Like I said, wasn't intended to start the game, came in at the last minute for Willoughby, who has been the starting keeper all season, and Glenlast putting in a great performance so far in today's game.
He has. He really has. We haven't seen Brady Olsen yet. I mean, to be fair, Billis has been playing phenomenally, but regardless, there's a foul.
Billis going to get ran over. And again, another opportunity where the Vulcans can send the bodies forward. And it looks like they may do a little bit of that. Maybe not as hefty, because this one a bit further out, and it looks like McMill going to be the man in charge of sending in this cross.
All right, let's see what we can chef up here. Come on, guys, we got this.
Morelli and Pinero among the bigger Vulcans in the box, as well as Billis. And it's McMill standing over the free kick, sends up the arm signals, floats this one
Good
into
ball.
the box. Pinero gets a head on it. It's straight into the waiting arms of Glenlast, who gets down there quickly. Great jump and a great read by Pinero, but just couldn't get the strike on it that you need to get it past Glenlast.
Man, right now every minute feels like an eon. I can just feel the time crawling, especially when you're down 1-0 in a game like this, and you feel as if, like, after all this hard work, after all this just pure tenacity, that you deserve to be the team winning, and you're not. As long as they don't let that frustration grow, I think they have a shot here. I know they have a shot here. We've seen it already. Whether it's Rifkin's rifle from the left side or the header in from the free kick, another shot will come. They just have to finish it. Foul.
Odegaard going into the bag, and looks like, I think, going to receive a yellow card. Maybe not for the badness. I was trying to think of a better word, but maybe
there wasn't any malice in there. But to be fair, maybe that was
not
like
a malicious one, but maybe
it's like a sixth foul.
An accumulation of a couple fouls. So
there it is.
Picks up a card. I ended up finding the words.
You did. It is. We just have to buy you some time every once in a while, John. You do a great job setting the stage all 90 minutes, especially soccer. I love the sport. I love it dearly. It's very close to my heart. But sometimes there's not much to talk about, and you do a great job. It is. I think you and I's both favorite sport, at least to watch. I love basketball too. But all right, free kick, Shippensburg, number 14. Here we go.
Shippensburg just have a chance to send it forward. Long kick, and ends up into the arms of AJ Visco, and maybe a bit of a waste that time from Weldon and the Raiders. I mean, it's a very awkward angle to try to send it into the box, but so you kind of just have to line drive it to get enough on it and to try to get it into a good area. But the Vulcans under some pressure. Nabinski just trying to win it back, trying to find Rifkin on the back heel. That one ends up out of play.
Little by little. Man, it feels like I said 10 minutes ago when I said it was 25 minutes left. There's only 22 minutes left. Plenty of time.
Two substitutions made by the Raiders back into the game. Obasa back into the game for the Raiders, as well as number 13 Haynes Ulbrich into the game. The sophomore from Germany on the field, and
it's only going to get harder now with Obasa back on the field. It's only going to get, especially when a game where you're chasing, the other team is going to be allowed to have more control of the ball, more breathing room. Not breathing room per se, but when you have ball-heavy skilled players such as Obasa and Shiflett in the field, it just makes the game 10 times worse for you. So let's see how this sub impacts Shippensburg.
Shippensburg corner and maybe a little bit light on setting the bodies forward. Ball into the box, going deep towards the back post, comes off of a player. It came off the arm, like the shoulder of Davies. And Visco trying to go quickly, trying to find Wojtovich on that crossfield ball. And it was a driven punt, but great defending in the end. I believe that was Ulbrich who came in, or Shiflett, excuse me, that came over and got to it. And
clean.
Obasa wins it back. Obasa trying to play it through, and Morelli able to read it. And Gretz now to McMill. McMill under some pressure, able to hold up, plays it into the space for Odegaard to run onto. And the Vulcans have an attack
crazy
of their own. Odegaard just trying to slip that one into the channel. And Billis just, I wouldn't say gassed, but just not going to make that type of run at this point in the game.
He was not that interested in that ball, unfortunately.
And a lot of open space on that far side for Shippensburg to work with. Just a floated ball forward, headed away by Morelli. Gretz going to get ahead on it as well, and end up at the feet of the Raiders, who just try to go again. Sims has an opportunity to put on some pressure.
Backspin on this ball. Backspin. It's going to spin in. It's going to stay in.
It's going to stay in, and it's going to end up at the feet of Brandt. And Brandt has a chance to just send this one into the box, headed away once again by the Vulcans. That time it was Panero. Ends up at the feet of Shiflett again, and Shiflett just dancing around ever so delicately. Gets brought down, ends up back at the feet of Henry, and Henry's shot straight into the hands of Visco. And it looks like a Vulcan down injured on the ground. I believe it's Percival. That would be a big blow for the Vulcans.
Or that actually might be my bet. It
might be Nabinski as well. I can't quite tell the number.
Yeah.
And I believe the Vulcans
Corey
looking to make are going to make a substitution here shortly. As everyone is back to their feet.
Oh.
And we're going to get back underway once again.
As the coach here for Vulcans, you got to be a little confused because you're already playing 3 in the back. Like, you can't really get that much more aggressive than you're already playing formationally. So at this point, I like that. I mean, it's a foul, but it's cheeky. It's not within the rule book, but it's kind of within the rule book. Yeah. You got to try it every once in a while.
Unwritten,
yeah.
The injured Vulcan was Nabinski, and he's back on his feet, but the Vulcans have 2 waiting substitutes on the far side, ready to make an impact in this game as we're now under the 19-minute mark left to go here in the second half. Shippensburg with a 1-0 lead, and the Vulcans just looking to answer back at all as Obasa. Nice job keeping it in possession. That plays that ball out wide, but a mistimed touch by Graham, and that ball ends up out of plays. Both teams on the field now, or both teams, making their substitutions.
I don't know who's coming on here. So we got coming off is that's Nabinski coming off
for Shippensburg. I know Bamfo just came back onto the field for the Raiders. End of the game for the Vulcans. I see number 22 Corey McCoy on the field. McCoy's first touch. That one's gonna end up out of play as well as number 27 Tyler Schressengost.
Wow, that is a good name, Schressengost. Well done, John.
Great movement as the tackle couldn't be made. The Vulcans need to clear it out, and Rifkin going to let that one go behind for a corner. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. The freshman out of Plum, PA.
Great job there by Chris. Yeah, Odegaard giving Rifkin a high five, but great job there by Chris McKeel coming back on defense and clearing the ball out as a midfielder. Great job.
Another Shippensburg corner, and they once again have an opportunity to try to put the nail in the coffin of this game. The ball headed away, but the Raiders in pursuit are able to get that one back. It's Paluku just trying to get around and trying to work his way past a couple of Vulcans, but great defending.
By McMill again. Well done.
And the Vulcans going to make another substitution as it looks like Reyes is going to come back into the game. And I believe it's Rifkin coming off, and so maybe a change of shape as Reyes now making his way all the way to this near sides
And then your man Wyovich is all there on the far left.
Just going to switch sides here. Just give the team a bit of a different shape.
Good
as
job, Corey.
header one ends up at the feet of Reyes, but it's Shiflett again all over the place, and Shiflett dancing around Reyes, trying to play his ball forward, ends up now at the feet of Billis, and Billis
Great job.
able to just hold off a couple of defenders, able to find McMill, and McMill under pressure finds Billis. Billis gets that ball tackled away from him by Obasa, and Obasa gets it forward, just sends this one high into the air, but that one dangerously close to Visco as we're 16-12 left to go. The Vulcans need to find an answer at some point. Shippensburg up 1-0 after a headed goal by Dalton Shiflett.
This is just brutal. You can just feel it in the air. You can feel the tiredness. Last 15 minutes, last six of the game. They just got to keep pushing. They have no other option here.
And the Vulcans still not ready to write the final chapter of their story of this game. Another substitution to just interrupt the flow of things.
Yes. The Shippensburg coach is doing a great job here of just not allowing any momentum to build up for the clock just to continue to tick forward, tick down. And you can feel it even up here in the broadcast booth. The game, which was once, I would say, running in like nice hot boiling water, is now slowed to a deep, slow syrup.
Yeah, it's Evan Brandt off the field. John Lennon for the Raiders. My favorite Beatle back onto the pitch for the Shippensburg Raiders.
My sisters love Paul McCartney. That was their favorite.
I mean, that is the correct answer.
No, sorry. My bad. It was Jim Harrison.
George Harrison?
George Harrison. There it is. That's my sister's Ren's favorite Beatle, George Harrison, without a doubt.
Palical now in possession, gets it off to Shiflett, and Shiflett, nice ball into the corner. Ball just sent into the box, cleared away by the Vulcans. They have 3 men forward, 3-on-3 going the other way, so decent transition as Shippensburg get back in numbers, and Wojtovich just took too long to make a decision. The players ahead of him didn't really give him a ton of options, but great moves from Obasa, able to get around McMill, who has to foul him, and
goes over, pats him on the shoulder. It's one of those fouls where you both respect each other. You recognize there's nothing wrong with it. He knows. All right, I think they had a good laugh there between the ref and McNeil. But regardless, you foul the guys, like pick up, you go over, pat him on the shoulder. It's like, hey, my bad. I respect you. You respect me. Let's not make anything big out of this.
Again, I feel bad for the Vulcans on that counterattack. I feel bad for Wojtovich because he's going to be the one that's blamed for not doing anything. But Sims and Sims and McCoy in front of him just didn't give him the greatest of options and just tried to take it himself as whistle blown in the box. I believe maybe a foul or an offsides in the box on that free kick. And the Vulcans now running out of time ever so slowly. The sand in the hourglass is slowly is still, there's still some left, but the Vulcans
if you're winning in the scenario, you'd be chewing your fingernails. You would be. However, we're chasing the game, and I'm more like gripping the chair. It's more of a grip the chair kind of game here. Like I'm not nervous. I'm just anxious.
Odegaard now.
Play it now. Oh Jesus!
Odegaard
Can't wait.
Playing it through, and Reyes has a chance to get there, and Reyes is going to get there. Reyes' ball across the box gets headed away, and it looked like everyone on Shippensburg gave up on the play, but Reyes didn't. And great hustle by him, wins the Vulcans a corner, and I mean this is as good of an opportunity as ever, as it's going to be McMill standing over top of it for the Vulcans. Bilas showed short, but the Vulcans sending almost everyone into the box.
Everyone, you're not wrong. There's no one back at the halfway line. It's Visco against the world.
Ball, and Morelli wins the header, but
it was worth it.
Got it going down instead of at the apex of the jump, and another opportunity by the Vulcan just squandered away.
Another one of those Shippensburg shots on the tally. Again, they give up shots, but like you said, they don't break. That's crazy, man. What a crazy statistic. I can't imagine giving up, like now at this point, probably 160 shots-ish, right? And you've only ever given up 12 goals. 12 goals from 160 shots you've given up. Craziness.
And the Vulcans want to make it the 13th as Odegaard just gets ran down by Shiflett, and I mean, what a performance he's had in this game. I mean, that man on the ball, lights out.
Yes.
But the work he's been putting in off the ball all over the field, just getting himself in the position he needs to be.
And just the leadership.
Great.
Yeah, like even when they were tied 0-0, he never lost his cool. He made the right plays. And even when he made the right plays, he rarely showed emotion. Right? And sometimes you just, as a player, as a teammate, you're like, you just need that. You lean to him for that stability.
Yeah, sometimes the stoicism
yes.
works out because, like I said, in a game where you've each had your chances and nothing comes out of it, it's very easy to get frustrated, and it's very easy to start doing things that are wrong. And Sim's going to be called for the foul, and I think rightly so, as he just wedged himself underneath the high leaper of Ulbrich in the back there for Shippensburg.
This is some great, I wouldn't say time wasting. I mean, if you're Billis and you whack the ball away there, that takes another 10 seconds off the clock because the goalkeeper is going to get it. He's going to gently put it down. He's going to gently roll it back to halfway mark. They're going to gently put the ball down for the free kick, and then they're going to stand over it. And that's 25 seconds right there. Just don't kick it away.
Ball just sent into the box, and no one on the end of it. 10.5 minutes left to go. And you see the Vulcans now looking to play with a bit more urgency, maybe something you would have liked to see earlier on here in the second half. But, I mean, I guess better late than never if you're California, because you need to get a goal and you need to get it now because there's not much time left as Visco setting this one high up the field. No one in white colors there standing in position for that kick, but Panero gets it forward and Wojtovic just in an awkward spot. Can't quite pull that touch in.
I mean, it's just one of those games. It's just one of those games. You're going to go home thinking about it later. Plus, fun. I mean, this for me is fun. If this game ends in a tie, right, in the hypothetical, Shippensburg record becomes 3-3-3, which I just think is really fun. So I wouldn't mind this ending in a tie. Obviously, I'm biased, but I'm sure Shippensburg would much rather end in a victory.
I think both teams would like it to end in a victory. Odegaard able to break the press. McNeil, too heavy of a touch, and it's going to be Shiflett. Shiflett playing it through towards Kramer, and Kramer's shot. Great save from A.J. Visco, who sends that one past the post and out of play, and he needed to make the save. He kept the Vulcans in the game there with that save.
Again, Shiflett with the patience. He saw the run, he let it develop, and then he did an out-curling ball on the ground to his teammate's favorite right foot, and it was a good shot and fabulous save by A.J. Visco.
Yeah, A.J. Visco keeping the Vulcans within reach. Corner taken, sent towards the back post.
Goal kick.
It's going to end up being another corner.
Whoa!
As the official on the far side signaled a goal kick, but the referee in the center signaled it came off of a Vulcan defender out of place. So another corner for Shippensburg here, and it's going to be Lennon going back and forth like Nabinski in the first half. Gets just to do it all over again.
Does he get to play? Does he get to play us a pretty song here, or I guess it'd be an ugly one?
Maybe crossing Abbey Road as Lennon sends this one. This one a bit further out, going to fall to the feet of Kramer, and Kramer's shot dealt with by Visco. Maybe not the most convincingly, but nonetheless, AJ Visco ends up with the ball in his hands, and the punt not great as it ends up at the feet of Kramer again, and Kramer cutting it back onto his right foot, just trying to play that clip ball towards Obasa, now it's Obasa on the ball. Able to just break off of the tackle and keep it in play. Obasa doing wonders on the ball, and the Vulcans needed to get a foot to it as Kramer sends this one all the way to the back post, and it's Palikau now trying to find a shot, and Odegaard stops him at the door. Bylis, nice touch, finds McNeil, and the Vulcans on the counter now. Bylis sending it forward, trying to find McCoy. McCoy running onto it. Great defending by Shippensburg, and the Vulcans going back to front as Lennon clears that one out of bounds.
Keep pushing. You got to take these breaks when you're able to finally get out of your half of the field. Great interchange there by McNeil and Billis. Billis made a lot out of very little there. That was some fabulous play by him.
As we're under 7:15 left to go here in this game, the Vulcans imperative that they score.
You could feel it. The crowd's getting antsy.
Yeah, you can just hear the collective breath every time. Just seems like they're just waiting for the special moment to happen. Great moves on the far side by Sims. McMill just trying to find an option, cut out by Kramer, and Kramer has a man forward, but that pass too close to Morelli, and he was able to sniff it out. Panero trying to get it back to McMill, going to come off of his foot on the way out. A bit unfortunate. And Shippensburg very happy with just slowing things down here, because it looked like on that far side they could have taken Schiffler could have taken the throw, but decided against it. Set it back down on the ground, let his fullback come up to take the throw. Like you said, takes another 10, 15, 20 seconds, and it looks like a substitution.
The younger brother's coming in, Edward. All right.
Where it was just a whistle blown, because I believe the referee didn't want any more time wasted on the throws. Obasa going to get fouled as
lower center of gravity. Lower center of gravity.
Is able to get underneath the challenge of Billis.
Like a small prairie dog, he's able to burrow his way into your body and get that foul. Great play there by,
Obasa, 5'5", like you said, just has that low center of mass. Very hard to just get off of the ball once he's on it. And Shippensburg have a chance to just send this one into the box once again. Graham, I believe, standing over top of it.
Oh, good ball.
Hooks it in with the right foot, headed away by Morelli. But Shippensburg still there on the ball, trying to keep it in, but does just enough to get that one out of bounds. Quick throw by the Raiders. That one sent towards the back post. Wojtovich in retreat to defend and plays it back to Visco, and Visco just has to clear it away as he had no options. Sends that one into the trees over top of the fence on the far side.
I mean, there's no harder lead to hold on to in the world than I think a 1-0 lead. Because it's not like it's been a crazy open game, right? It hasn't been like a 4-3 lead where like the other team's probably going to score because they've already scored 3. A 1-0 lead is like you have to prove and completely beat the other team. It's not like you're just giving up goals and you just manage to outscore the other team. That's a handball. He didn't let it out. It's all right.
And I think Panero, that just kind of sums up the day so far for the Vulcans.
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right, McNeil. Pick up your head. You got to keep moving.
There's some lapses as
don't think about it too long.
Didn't let the ball fully go out of play. And again, just unfortunate because you knew the ball was going out, but everyone on Shippensburg was right there. And so indirect free kick on the far side and going to just be taken like a corner, but from a slightly different angle. Low driven cross sent in. The ball just floating around forever. Kramer now sends it on the ground, just trying to maybe fake out the Vulcans as Obasa. Nice touch off the thigh. Gets it over to Kramer, and Kramer can just recycle it back into the box. Morelli needed to get a header on it, and he did.
Good job, McNeil.
McNeil wins the header, but falls to Obasa again. Obasa trying to get away from Gretz. He was able to just try to spin away, but Obasa wins it back, but after fouling. Not after fouling Gretz. A late call by the ref, and the Vulcans are going to take it because the Raiders were in on that. And the Vulcans going quickly here has a ton of space on this far side for them to work with. As
great job there by Billis by cutting in front of his defender, either forcing him to foul him or let him be. Great body control there.
McNeil able to find Odegaard. Odegaard just floating it into the box, and nice keeping from Glenn Last. And him and his defender dangerously close to colliding, and that ball nearly, I mean, if it came off as a defender, it could have ended up anywhere. Him and Warwick nearly narrowly avoid collision. And the ball ends up in the hands of Glenn Last.
Yeah, lucky, but great aggressive goalkeeping there by the senior.
Comes off his line super early, gets there when he needed to be.
Good
sends
ball,
that ball
too.
Forward too, like you said. But Gretz putting in the hard work, just trying to win it back, but the Vulcan just can't seem to hold on to it. A trio of substitutions about to be made by California. Nabinski back into the game for California. Percival back into the game for California. And on this, and I believe there was one more as well on that far side.
I think they're playing 4 in the front now. With 2 wingers and 2 forwards. You have Simpson and Corey or McCoy in the middle, and then you have Reyes and Bill, not Billis. Billis out on the flanks, which means you're playing 3 in the back, 2 in the midfield, and 4 up front, which means you're going to be wide open in the back.
And Ship have just low-driven ball across the box. That one sent away, and the last one was number 15, Edward Reyes. So One Reyes on, one Reyes off, and the trio of substitutions maybe just to give the Vulcans a bit of life, as there's only 2 minutes left in this game. Time flies.
Kitchen sink time. Kitchen sink time.
And if you're the Vulcans, you need to throw everything at the Raiders. Need to do something here. Create one last opportunity, anything. And the Raiders doing just a great job of just wasting time, working it into the corner, forcing a throw, and they're in no rush to take it.
Great game by both teams here. Thrilling match. It's not over yet, but I want to applaud both teams, Shippensburg and the host Vulcans.
The ball sent across, and no one dealt with it, and the shot sliced off of the foot of Graham. As we're now under a minute and a half, 1:20 left to go. And Visco and the Vulcans, everyone needs to get on their horse, needs to get up the field as Visco's kick sent forward.
Good job, Corey.
Able to just win some space, but again, Shippensburg just right when the Vulcans seem to find some space, the Raiders right there to shoot the cannon and knock it out.
They got something to protect now. They're not going to let their egg crack.
Throw in, and now we're under a minute here as Morelli now taking the throw, sends it forward, and California don't have much time left, don't really have anything left. Nice move to get it out, and it's going to be a throw. Won by the Raiders, and I think that might just be it. As some fancy moves there by number 14, Nathan Weldon, who's able, under pressure, kicks it out, and George Graham here on the near side doing some keepy-ups, trying to waste some time. The referee stops the clock, but now we're under 30 seconds, as it's going to be Bamfo just trying to run it down in the corner. The Vulcans maybe have one more chance, but as that ball ends up out of play, there's no shot that the Vulcans can get down the field in time. As the referee blows the whistle for a foul, Visco's kicked 10 now on the clock. There's a second ball on the field that finally gets cleared. The ball landing up there in the air. Reyes
take a shot.
Trying to come down with it. Reyes' shot. Ambitious.
Yep.
And that's going to be the end of it here at the Phillipsburg Soccer Complex. The Raiders take the treasure and no points won, but they're going to take the bragging rights as they win 1-0 over the Vulcans. Any final thoughts from you, Owen?
I think Brandt's there, fist pump at the end, number 8, as the final whistle blew, just kind of sums up how the Vulcans must feel going home. They played well. They made the home team proud. They had their opportunities. They out-hustled Shippensburg for the first 25, 30 minutes. And the Shippensburg technical ability, technique, just grew into the game, and they found their pace. They found their men. They found their passes, and they got their goal, and they got the victory. And
at the end of the day, they did what they needed to do to win, and that's going to be the end of it. The Raiders of Shippensburg take a 1-0 win over the California Vulcans. From everyone here at CUTV, thank you very much for watching. From our directors, Gary Smith and Nate Kurtz, from my broadcast partner, Owen Leeson, I'm John Sape. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Network. And good night, California.
Good night.